This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
What's this thing?
Ridiculous. Okay.
Seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganath Haros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Dahnan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
What's this thing? There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current Sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfrikt Milgras, the former Lord of Cyslodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfrikt whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming Sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over Holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the Sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the Motherland, Sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renan by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Corps existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait, don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dahna already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnagan to secure your position as Lord, you still... kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Dahnan rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagin. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagin. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagin and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Dahnans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight. Oh,
I am Lord Dohalim of Elder Menancia. I command you.
Threat to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed enough. If they want to fight, they got one.
Far enough!
Be my guest.
anything in armor is all mine. Armor won't save you.
Right, deal?
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Illuminate the net!
The enemy wields arcs too.
You'll soon see about that. This one's mine.
We're not finished!
Eternal devastation!
Anything in armor is
Make it work! I'll stop your movement!
and I'll stop your life.
Not again!
Holy glimmer!
I'm not done! You're finished!
I can carve through armor.
Magic your dreams!
Take this!
This one's mine!
Do it! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Yourselves. This one's tough. No further.
Time to corruption!
Dragon form.
This one's mine! These ones can reach around us! Here, let me help!
Eternal devastation. Eternal devastation.
Hurricane
Mine.
Look out!
Here I come.
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and the pummeling to me.
Eternal devastation.
Make it rain! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Here's a
My
minute!
turn.
Strike! I never miss!
Tear. Hurricane one.
Here,
Soaring right spear.
It's time! Hurricane strike! Now!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
We can really make weapons with this?
We're in for a long slog with this one.
Take I see one, eh? Now! Take this!
Crazy cascade!
Far enough!
It's on! Take down their defense! Engaging! Dragon Swarm! Easter! Laser Sight!
Not on my watch!
Look this! Eternal Devastation! Thrust!
Look sharp!
Do it! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Now! No escape! An Astro Art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
This one's mine!
Rising Phoenix! Here I come!
Here's a crazy cascade!
Here I come! I'm not done! Double Demon Ray! Here I come! The flame inside you yearns to be let down!
I never miss!
Take this!
Illuminate
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! I can feel my power growing!
We're in for a long slog with this one. Now you see what I can do.
Dragon Swarm!
So much for talking it out. Look sharp.
Here, let me help.
Eternal Devastation! Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Denied.
It's time.
Take this! Not today! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Here I
My
go.
turn!
Thrust!
Thrust!
Mega Ray!
In a bind?
Hurricane Thrust! Within it! Searing Gale!
Look sharp.
No escape! Crush!
Make it break.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the
This won't be easy.
Don't be such a pessimist!
You're mine!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth!
Take this!
I think I'll have something!
Now you see what I can do!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Take that! Go get it!
Try
Illuminate
this!
the dark!
Take this!
Holy Quiver! Mega Ray!
Explosive Ring!
Holy Ring!
Take this!
That'll bring you down!
Yours to be let free!
Illuminate the dark!
Try harder! Not a chance!
I'll heal you all!
Dragon Swarm! Try this!
Ready to go!
Explosive Ring!
Far enough.
Eat this!
Appreciate the help.
Here comes!
Crush!
Raging Hurricane!
Dragon Swarm!
Lunar Corruption!
This one's mine.
Gemini
Here!
Ultra!
Explosive Ring!
By the power of water! Gemini
Double
Ultra!
Dig!
Take this!
Miracle!
I'll smash you!
Dragon Swarm! Try this! Explosive Ring! I owe you one! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Strike!
Glacial Spear! Going in!
charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Dragon Swarm!
Going in!
Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine.
Explosive Ring!
This one's mine! Mega Ray! More for the Sapphire! This one's mine! Hurricane Strike!
You picked the wrong fight!
Look sharp! Anything in armor is all mine!
I can carve through armor!
Time to shine! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa!
Here I come!
Ready your dreams!
It's over!
Raging Cascade!
Attack feature! I'm gone!
Here I come!
Come
Eternal
forward!
devastation!
Turn up!
Healing Circle! Holy Lift!
Take this! Dragon Form!
Raging Cascade! Here!
Burn in hell!
Here's a healing arm!
You're mine! Dragon Form! Prepare to be seized! Explosive no further!
Take this! I'm gone!
Double Demon Fang!
More for the side pile!
I'm gone! Shattering pieces! Attack now!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
With this, I can become even stronger. No further!
Bring him down!
I never miss!
You're mine! Eternal
Here's a
devastation!
healing arm! Nice!
Dragon Form! Try this! Explosive ring!
Down! You're on!
Eternal devastation! No escape!
Here goes!
Try harder!
To me!
Ignite!
Raging Cascade!
Will this help?
Time to shine!
Denied!
Can't get out of
Do it!
Illuminate the
Kisara!
dark!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Illuminate the dark!
Go in! Escape! Loaded!
Take this! This one's mine! Release it ready!
Frozen!
Hammer!
Double Demon Fang! Enough done! Tear!
Now!
Shion!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! I feel sprightlier than before.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imeris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dahna. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imeris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dahnan astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dahna's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too, if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Zoogles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a Master Core?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zoogles, then we get some answers.
That'll bring you down.
Aim for the weak spot!
Take that! Illuminate the dark!
Pain.
Come forth! Holy
Take
Glimmer!
this!
Radiant Flame! Zero Flame!
Going in. This helps. That's it.
Here goes! Healing Circle!
Appreciate that.
Illuminate the dark!
Hurricane.
Come forth! Holy Glimmer! And
Look
Holy
sharp.
Lance!
That's it.
Eternal devastation!
I'm
You're
gone.
mine!
Raging Cascade! Power of water! In here!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield is for. Get behind me.
Good! I'll leave it to you!
Look sharp. One more.
Eternal devastation!
Hurricane strike. Going in.
Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy Glimmer! Here's a healing Holy Lance!
This one's
My
mine.
turn! Here I come!
I'm gone.
Dragon Swarm!
Spirit Flame! Take the raging Cascade! I feel you here!
In a vine?
Going in.
Take this!
Where are you going?
Here goes! Hurricane Healing Arm! Raging Cascade!
Eternal devastation! Take
Here!
this!
Spirit Flame! I'll be taking this one! Here goes! Hurricane Flame! Where that
Flame
came
inside
from!
me! Yours!
I'll heal you all! Take that!
Ignite!
It's Raging Cascade!
This ends
Healing
now!
Circle!
Appreciate it.
Saving this one! Illuminate the dark! I'm
Meteor!
confiscated!
Time to let it rip! Dragon
General
Swarm!
Aqua! Where that came from!
Explosive ring!
Raging Cascade!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Illuminate the dark!
I don't feel so high.
You should sit this one out there.
And miss all the fun. No way.
Eternal devastation!
Healing Circle!
Thanks!
This
Dragon
one is ready to
Swarm!
go! Illuminate the dark!
Prepare to be sealed!
This one is mine! Holy Lance!
In a vine?
Make it way!
River!
Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Glacial
Here I
Spear!
come!
Here's the
Anything
evil!
normal, go on.
Ha!
Freeze Lancer! In here! I'll be saving this one! By the power of
Explosive
and the sky is mine!
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Look sharp!
Try harder! My turn!
No escape! Time to shine!
I owe you one.
This one's mine! This one's mine!
Eternal Dragon Swarm!
I'll heal you all!
It's on!
Guardian Field! I got you!
Explosive ring!
Healing circle!
Not today!
I'm ready to go!
Try harder! My turn! Take this!
Let me out!
Not in your dreams!
It's over! Crush! Dragon Swarm!
Hurricane Flight! Raging Cascade!
Take this!
In here! I'll be ready! Illuminate the dark! Holy This one's mine!
Explosive ring!
Holy never miss! Now go in! Here, let me help! Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy Glimmer!
No further! Thanks!
Holy Lamp!
Eternal devastation!
I'm ready to go!
Will this help?
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Power of light!
Dragon Swarm!
Here's the
Try
raging
this.
cascade!
I'm almost impressed. I said almost. Don't get carried away.
Now you see what I can do!
Hurricane Shadows! Come forth! Holy Glimmer! Holy Lamp!
Here goes!
Eternal devastation!
Hurricane Strike! On guard!
Eternal devastation!
Illuminate the dark!
That move!
Come forth! Holy Glimmer!
Here comes the big one! Try harder! Not a chance!
Their arcs were interrupted! Look sharp!
Illuminate the dark!
Try harder! Not a chance! I'm not done!
Here goes! Confiscating!
Explosive ring!
Together! Raging Cascade!
Ignite!
In here!
By the power of one! Forward up!
Illuminate the dark!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Can't get out of this!
Holy Lamp!
You're off!
This one's mine!
Dragon Swarm!
Hurricane Strike! What
Try harder! Not a chance! Eternal devastation!
First aid! What's the raging
I can
cascade?
carve through armor!
Going in!
In here! Illuminate the dark!
Stay away from my friends!
Holy Lamp! I can do this all day! Healing circle!
Appreciate the help! Hurricane, do it! Shion,
Go for it!
prepare to crumble!
Now it's just her! Varia, can you hear me? Varia!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almeidria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.